Welcome to my channel, Advanced Learner Studio.
You know, in a world that's just constantly pulling us in a million directions, the ability to truly focus. It feels less like a common skill these days and more like a genuine superpower. It's the engine, isn't it? The thing that powers us toward pretty much anything we want to achieve.
Absolutely.
And today, we're zeroing in on how cultivating that superpower, that focus, can be the crucial element in finally unlocking your English fluency.
Exactly. And I bet many of you listening have spent, real time and energy trying to learn English.
Yeah.
Maybe with different levels of success, right? You probably gathered resources, maybe tried different methods. But what often makes the real difference, the thing that lets all those efforts actually build on each other, is that consistent, unwavering focus.
Right.
It's really the ingredient that transforms effort into, actual results.
Exactly. So think of this deep dive not as just another list of English learning tips, but more as, digging into what might be the missing link for a lot of people, how to intentionally cultivate that focused state of mind. We'll kick things off by looking at how to define your English learning goals with, laser precision. Then we'll get into practical, really actionable strategies for building and maintaining that focus.
It makes sense.
After that, we'll explore some specific tips and tricks, tailored for the unique challenges of learning English. And finally, we'll share some inspiring real-world stories.
Great.
So our mission today is pretty straightforward: to equip you with concrete strategies to finally achieve your English fluency goals by truly mastering the art of focus. Okay. Let's dive in.
So the very first piece of this puzzle, it's really all about setting a clear direction. You just can't effectively channel your focus if you don't have a well-defined target.
Right.
It's like trying to hit a bullseye when you're not even sure where the dartboard is.
Totally.
And that's why those well-meaning, but, kind of vague goals like, I want to be better at English.
Yes.
They often fall short. They lack the precision you need to direct your attention and effort effectively.
Right. It's like saying, I want to get in shape. What does that actually mean? It's too broad. It doesn't give you anything specific to aim for.
Exactly.
And this is precisely where the SMART goal framework becomes so valuable. It's a really effective tool, isn't it, for turning those general wishes into concrete objectives that your focus can actually lock onto.
Mm-hmm.
SMART, as many of you probably know, stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So let's break down each of these and see how they apply directly to learning English.
Okay, let's start with specificity. So instead of a hazy goal like learn more vocabulary, a specific goal would sound more like learn 20 new C1 level academic words related to environmental science each week and actively use them in example sentences.
Okay, much clearer.
See how much more targeted that is?
Yeah.
C1, that's that more advanced level, often for academic or professional stuff. Similarly, instead of just wanting to improve speaking, you might aim to be able to discuss current events for 15 minutes with a language partner without major hesitation, using at least 5 new idioms correctly by the end of the month. The more specific you get, the clearer your focus can actually become.
Absolutely. And then next up is measurability. How will you actually know if you're making progress, right? You need tangible ways to track how you're doing.
Yeah, you need proof.
Exactly. Examples could be something like achieve an 80% comprehension rate on B2 level listening exercises, B2 being that upper intermediate level where you can handle most everyday topics, or maybe write a 500-word essay with fewer than 5 grammatical errors, or even increase my active speaking time, maybe with native speakers, from 30 minutes to 1 hour per week.
Right.
These measurable goals give you concrete milestones. They keep you focused on making real, tangible progress.
Then we get to achievability. Now, it's good to stretch yourself, obviously, but it's just as crucial to be realistic. Setting goals that are way beyond your current reach can actually, kill your motivation. It makes sustained focus feel almost impossible.
Yeah, you set yourself up to fail.
Exactly. So if you're just starting out, aiming for, say, full C2 fluency, which is basically near native level in just 3 months, that's probably just going to lead to disappointment.
Right.
The key here is breaking down those bigger ambitions, like reaching C1, into smaller, much more manageable steps. Think about aiming for A2 first, then maybe B1, that's intermediate, then B2, and so on.
Okay.
Your goals should challenge you, yes, but they also need to feel like they're actually within reach if you put in consistent effort.
And this leads nicely into relevance, doesn't it? Why is this specific English goal important to you, the listener?
Crucial question.
Is it about opening up career doors, being able to study abroad, connecting better with family or friends who speak English, or maybe just enjoying books or movies in their original form.
Yeah, what's the real driver?
Connecting your language goals to your deeper values, your aspirations. That provides that vital internal drive. Understanding your personal why acts like a powerful anchor for your focus, especially when things get tough.
It really does. And finally, we have time-bound. A goal without some kind of deadline often just stays a wish, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just floats around.
Saying, I want to reach B2 is okay, but saying, I want to reach a B2 level by December 31st of this year adds that sense of urgency. It helps you prioritize.
Raise pressure in a good way.
Right. And it's also super helpful to set intermediate deadlines for those smaller steps we talked about.
Okay.
So if your big goal is B2 by year end, maybe set a smaller goal like finishing a specific grammar book by, say, the end of June. These mini deadlines really help maintain focus and momentum along the way.
Okay. To really make this concrete, let's walk through a slightly more involved example. Let's say your big overarching goal is to hit C1 English fluency within maybe 18 months. And the reason is so you can confidently lead international business meetings and give really compelling presentations. How would we break that down using SMART?
Okay, good example. So for vocabulary, a supporting SMART goal could be something like learn and actively use 300 new business English idioms and phrasal verbs by the end of month 6.
Okay, specific.
Tracked via Anki and weekly writing samples. So it's specific, business idioms, phrasals, measurable, 300, tracked with Anki, that flashcard app and writing, achievable, 306 months is doable with focus, relevant business meetings, and time-bound, end of month 6.
Perfect. What about listening?
For listening, how about understand 90% of a 30-minute business news podcast without subtitles by the end of month 9, tested via summarization. Again, specific, business news podcast, measurable, 90% comprehension, tested by summarizing, achievable with practice, definitely relevant, and time-bound, end of month 9.
Makes sense. And speaking?
Maybe. Deliver a 10-minute business presentation smoothly and accurately to a language tutor each month. Incorporating their feedback to reduce hesitation by 50% within 12 months. Specific, presentation, tutor, measurable, 10 minutes, 50% less hesitation, achievable with practice and feedback, clearly relevant, and time-bound, 12 months.
Great. 2 more skills. Reading.
How about read and comprehend 2 articles from, say, The Economist or Harvard Business Review per week, summarizing the key arguments in English, starting month 4.
Right.
Specific sources, measurable, 2 articles summarizing, achievable by month 4 if you build up, relevant for business, and time-bound, starting month 4.
And finally, writing.
Okay, writing. Compose professional emails and short reports, maybe 500, 700 words, with appropriate C1 level grammar and tone.
Yep.
Receiving feedback and aiming for no more than 3 critical errors per piece by month 15. Specific, emails, reports, measurable, max 3 errors. Achievable with practice, relevant, and time-bound, month 15.
Wow, okay. You can really see how breaking down that big goal into these smaller, SMART objectives creates such a clearer, more manageable path forward. It's like having a detailed roadmap for your fluency journey. And these well-defined goals, they aren't just about knowing what to do, they act as that powerful internal compass, constantly reminding you why you're putting in the time and energy, which is just fundamental for keeping that focus sustained, isn't it?
Absolutely fundamental. Okay, so now that we've hopefully got a clear destination in sight, the next crucial step is talking about the practical strategies for actually cultivating that laser beam focus we need to get there.
Yeah.
Because we all know how easily our attention gets scattered in today's world, right?
Oh, absolutely. My phone sometimes feels like it has one job: derail my concentration. So what are some key, really actionable strategies we can use to strengthen our ability to stay focused?
Well, the first big one, the foundation really, is to intentionally engineer your environment to support focus.
Okay.
Think of it like setting the stage for successful learning, minimizing distractions before they even get a chance to interrupt you.
All right, break that down. What does engineering your environment actually look like for someone learning English?
Ideally, it starts with having a dedicated study space, even if it's just a specific corner of a room or one particular desk. The goal is to build a strong mental link.
Yeah.
When you're in this spot, it's English time. Keep it tidy, organized, free from stuff that isn't related to your studies. It signals to your brain, okay, time to concentrate.
That makes perfect sense. Creating a sort of work mode just by being there. What about the constant battle with digital distractions? That feels like a huge hurdle for pretty much everyone trying to focus.
Oh, it is. And it needs a conscious, proactive approach. Non-negotiable first step during your study time. Turn off all non-essential notifications. Phone, computer, everything.
Right, the pings and pop-ups.
Exactly. You might also want to look into website blockers, tools like Freedom or Cold Turkey. They can stop you from instinctively clicking over to social media or news sites.
Good.
And honestly, sometimes the simplest thing is the best.
Yeah.
Put your phone in another room. Or at least switch it to Do Not Disturb. Out of sight, often out of mind.
Definitely need to try that more often. What about physical distractions? Family members popping in or just a noisy place to live?
Yeah, that requires communication. Letting family or housemates know your study schedule when you really need uninterrupted time can make a big difference. If background noise is the issue, investing in a good pair of noise-canceling headphones can be a total game changer. And while you want your space to be comfortable, good light, decent chair, you also want to avoid getting too comfy, like studying in bed. Sounds nice, but usually just leads to drowsiness, not deep focus.
Right, finding that sweet spot between comfortable and actually conducive to work. Okay, so we've got the environment sorted, distractions minimized. What's the next key piece for cultivating focus?
The next crucial bit is learning to master your time. Focus isn't just about what you pay attention to, but also when and for how long you engage with it.
Okay, tell me more. How can we get better at managing time to boost our focus when learning English?
One really effective technique is time blocking. Literally scheduling specific blocks in your calendar just for English study. And treating those blocks like important meetings you can't miss.
Right, make it official.
Exactly. Another very popular method is the Pomodoro technique. You work in focus bursts, typically 25 minutes, then take a short 5-minute break. After maybe 4 of those cycles, you take a longer break, like 15 or 30 minutes. It's structured to help maintain concentration and prevent burnout. Lots of apps out there can help with this.
I've heard good things about Pomodoro. Those regular short breaks sound like they could really reset your focus. What else, time-wise?
It's also really helpful to know your peak focus times. Are you a morning person? A night owl? Schedule your toughest English tasks, like tackling tricky grammar or practicing writing, for when your brain is naturally sharpest. Use your lower energy times for lighter stuff, like listening practice or vocabulary review.
Okay, work with your natural rhythm.
Precisely. And finally, remember to set realistic daily and weekly goals. Don't try to cram hours and hours into one session. Consistent, shorter, focused sessions are usually much more effective than marathon study sessions. Quality over quantity, really.
That makes a lot of sense. So create the right environment, manage time strategically. What's next for building this focus muscle, as you called it?
That leads us right into the idea of actively training your focus muscle. Like any other muscle, your ability to concentrate, to sustain attention, it can be strengthened with practice.
How do we actually do that? Are there specific brain exercises?
Kind of, yeah. Things like mindfulness and meditation can be incredibly powerful. Even just a few minutes a day can improve your attention control, your ability to resist distractions.
Okay.
Apps like Headspace or Calm offer guided meditations, which are great for beginners. The core idea is noticing when your mind wanders and gently bringing your attention back, usually to your breath, which is exactly the skill you need for studying, right? Bringing focus back.
That's a really neat connection. Actively practicing redirection. What else helps train focus?
Another big one is consciously practicing single tasking. Multitasking is everywhere, but it's the absolute enemy of deep focus.
Guilty as charged sometimes.
We all are.
Yeah.
But when it's English study time, make an effort to just study English. No checking email on the side, no music with distracting lyrics, no side conversations. Every time you switch tasks, there's a cognitive cost. Your focus dips.
Right.
And finally, you can gradually increase your focus study duration. If you can only manage, say, 10 minutes of solid concentration now, start there, then try adding maybe 5 minutes each week. Build that mental stamina over time.
So it's about setting up the external conditions, managing time, and actively working on our internal ability to concentrate. What other factors are really important for maintaining focus long term, especially for something big like fluency?
That brings us to something absolutely critical: protecting your energy and overall well-being. Your physical and mental state directly impacts your cognitive abilities, including your focus.
That totally makes sense. If you're exhausted and run down, concentrating on anything is hard, let alone complex grammar. What aspects of well-being really influence focus?
Getting enough sleep is non-negotiable. Chronic lack of sleep messes with attention, memory consolidation, both vital for language learning. Aim for that 7 hours range. Your diet and hydration also play a bigger role than you might think. Your brain needs good fuel. A balanced diet, staying hydrated, it makes a difference in concentration. Keep water nearby when you study.
Okay, simple but important.
And don't underestimate regular exercise.
Yeah.
Getting your body moving improves blood flow to the brain, cuts stress, boosts mood, all good things for focus.
Right.
Finally, remember the need for strategic breaks. Like with Pomodoro, breaks aren't slacking off. They're essential for recharging your mental batteries, preventing burnout, and actually sustaining focus over longer stretches. Step away, stretch, do something totally unrelated to English.
So taking care of ourselves isn't separate from learning. It's part of the process for effective focus. That's a key takeaway. Now, earlier we talked about the power of your why. How does that motivation link back to sustaining focus day after day?
Yes, the power of why. It's absolutely fundamental for maintaining motivation, which directly fuels sustained focus. Your initial excitement might fade, right? So you need ways to actively nurture that drive.
How do we do that practically? It's easy to lose sight of the big picture when you're stuck on a tricky verb tense or a huge vocab list.
One powerful technique is to regularly visualize your success. Seriously, take a few moments, close your eyes, and vividly imagine yourself using English confidently in those situations that matter to you. Giving that presentation, chatting easily, understanding a movie without subtitles. That mental movie reinforces your commitment, reminds you why you're doing this. It's also super motivating to track your progress. Keep a learning journal, note down test scores, maybe even record yourself speaking periodically so you can actually hear the improvement.
Seeing the proof.
Exactly. And don't forget to reward yourself for hitting milestones, even small ones. Finished a tough chapter, had a great conversation. Treat yourself to something enjoyable. Within reason, of course.
Right.
But maybe most importantly, consciously connect English learning to your personal hobbies and interests. Love cooking. Find English cooking shows or recipes. Into history. Listen to history podcasts in English. When you learn about things you already love, it makes the whole process more engaging, more enjoyable.
And easier to focus on, naturally.
Exactly. The focus comes much more easily.
These are all fantastic strategies for building that solid foundation of focus. Now, let's maybe shift gears slightly and talk about some specific tips and tricks that are especially relevant for the actual process of learning English.
Yes, absolutely. While those general focus principles apply everywhere, there are definitely some tailored approaches that can really help you stay engaged and on track, specifically with English.
Okay, let's dive in. What's the first practical tip for focusing on English itself?
My first big tip is actively make it enjoyable.
Yeah.
I call it the Mary Poppins principle.
Ah, I like that.
If studying English always feels like a boring chore, your focus is just going to drift eventually.
Find the fun in S&P. The job's a game. So how do we inject more fun into learning English?
Variety is key. Don't just stick to textbooks and grammar drills. Mix it up. Use language learning apps, Duolingo, Babbel, Memrise, whatever works for you. Supplement that with engaging YouTube channels. There are great ones like Learn English with the TV series or English Class 101. Find podcasts on topics you actually find interesting. Even just listening to English music and trying to figure out the lyrics can be fun and effective.
Yeah.
Also, notice the gamification in many apps, the points, the streaks, the leaderboards. That stuff can actually provide a surprising little motivational boost and keep you focused.
True.
And maybe the biggest thing, find content in English that you genuinely love. Read books or articles about your passions. Watch movies and TV shows you find captivating. When the material itself pulls you in, focusing becomes much less of an effort.
That makes so much sense. When you're actually interested, focus just happens more easily. What's another language learning specific tip?
My next one is about immersion, but thinking about it realistically. Full immersion, like moving to another country. Great if you can do it, but obviously not practical for most people.
Right.
But you can create a mini immersion environment right where you are.
A mini immersion. Intriguing. How would you set that up?
Start with simple things. Change the language settings on your phone, your computer, your social media to English. It forces you to interact with the language in everyday contexts.
Okay, it's doable.
Then, consciously try to think in English more often. Narrate your day internally in English. Try forming thoughts in English before speaking or writing. It feels weird at first, but it's powerful. You could also label things around your house with their English names. Simple, constant reinforcement. And maybe designate certain times or activities as English only. Like maybe dinner conversation is only in English, even if you're just talking to yourself.
Those are some really practical ways to weave English into daily life. What's another key technique for focused language learning?
This brings us to the science-backed power of active recall and spaced repetition. These are super effective for memory retention, which is obviously huge for vocabulary and grammar.
Okay, can you explain those a bit more? How do they work?
Sure, active recall is basically testing yourself instead of just passively rereading. With flashcards, physical ones, or apps like Anki or Quizlet, try to recall the answer before you flip it over. Or try explaining a concept in your own words without looking at notes.
Right, forcing your brain to retrieve the info.
Exactly. And spaced repetition systems, or SRS, take that further. Tools like Anki, which is free and very popular schedule reviews of things you've learned at increasing intervals, right before you're likely to forget them.
Ah, clever.
It optimizes learning by reinforcing memories just when they need it most. Very efficient.
So, actively engaging and revisiting strategically, what about the social side? Does learning with others help focus?
Definitely. Accountability and community can be huge motivators and help maintain focus over the long haul.
How can we tap into that social element effectively?
Try finding a language partner to practice speaking with regularly. Sites like HelloTalk, Tandem, or italki connect you with native speakers or other learners. Having scheduled chats creates accountability.
Yeah, you don't want to let them down.
Exactly. You could also join a study group or take a class. Learning with others gives you that shared purpose, extra motivation, and more practice opportunities. If it fits your budget, getting a tutor offers personalized guidance and keeps you focused on your specific goals and weak spots.
Right.
And for some people, even just making a public commitment, telling friends, family, maybe posting online about your goal, can add that extra layer of motivation to stay focused.
That external support network can really make a difference. Now, what about mistakes? We all make them. How does that affect focus, and how should we deal with it?
Oh, this is such a crucial point. You absolutely have to embrace imperfection and learn from mistakes. Fear of errors can seriously sabotage focus for language learners.
It's so easy to get discouraged and just want to stop when you mess up, isn't it?
Totally. The key is to consciously reframe errors, not as failures, but as learning opportunities. Every mistake you catch and correct is actually progress.
Okay, shift the mindset.
Especially early on, try to focus on communication over perfection. Just get your message across. Fluency comes from practice, and practice always involves making mistakes. That's unavoidable.
Right.
You also need to develop resilience. There will be frustrating days, times you feel stuck on a plateau. That's normal. Acknowledge it. Maybe take a short break, but then get back to it. Don't let fear derail your focus.
That's really helpful advice. Okay, technology, it's everywhere. How do we use it wisely for English focus without getting totally overwhelmed by all the options?
Great question. Very relevant. The key is using tech wisely, strategically, but not getting overwhelmed. Yes, there are countless apps and sites, but more isn't always better for focus.
So quality over quantity with tech tools.
Exactly. Pick a few key resources that really work for you and your learning style, and then stick with them. Constantly jumping between new apps can be a huge distraction itself. Think about using specific tools for specific skills. Maybe Anki for vocabulary, a good textbook app for grammar, italki for speaking practice.
Tailoring the tool to the task.
Right. And don't ignore AI tools like ChatGPT or AI language tutors. They could be great for practice, getting feedback on writing, quick explanations. Just be selective. Use tech to support your focused effort, not replace it.
Sound advice. Okay, last tip in this section. Learning a whole language feels massive sometimes. How do we keep focus and not just get overwhelmed by the sheer size of it all?
This is where the brilliant chunking strategy comes in. English is vast vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, reading, writing, listening, speaking. It is overwhelming if you try to tackle it all at once.
So how do we chunk it effectively?
In any single study session, try to focus on just one specific skill or topic. Maybe today is just about practicing the present perfect. Tomorrow is just about travel vocabulary. The next day is just listening comprehension practice.
Okay, narrow the scope for each session.
Exactly. And if you're working with dense material like a long grammar chapter or a big vocab list, intentionally break it down into smaller, digestible chunks. Learn 5 words, not 50. Master one rule, not the whole chapter. It makes the task feel much less daunting and lets you concentrate your focus much more effectively on what's right in front of you. Small, achievable steps, not the whole mountain at once.
These are all super practical, really actionable tips. Now, to really hammer home the power of focus, I think hearing some real-world stories would be incredibly inspiring. People who actually did this.
Absolutely. The path to fluency looks different for everyone, but focused effort is a common thread. Let me share a few examples of people who really harnessed focus to reach their English goals.
Fantastic. Looking forward to it. Tell us about the first person.
Okay, let's start with Priya from India. She's a software engineer in Bangalore. Her goal was C1 English within 2 years, specifically focusing on business and technical English for her career, international projects, that kind of thing.
Okay, ambitious goal. What were her focus strategies?
Priya cleverly used her 90-minute daily commute. Mornings were for listening business podcasts, TED Talks, noting down new words and phrases. Evenings were for active speaking practice, summarizing what she heard, explaining technical stuff out loud. Weekends meant 2 focused hours on advanced grammar and an hour with an online business English tutor.
Wow, disciplined.
To stay focused during that commute study, she used the Pomodoro technique, breaking it into chunks, and she blocked distracting apps on her phone during those times.
Smart. Did she face challenges keeping that up?
Oh yeah, fatigue was a big one after long work days. She battled that by making her weekend sessions totally non-negotiable and constantly reminding herself of her career why. She also found support in an online forum for Indian professionals learning English.
And the result of all that focus?
Within just 18 months faster than her goal, Priya was confidently leading international project calls. Her English was sharp, professional. She credits her success directly to that disciplined, time-blocked, focused approach tied to her clear goals.
That's incredibly inspiring. A direct link between focus and career success. Who's next?
Next up is Mateo from Colombia. He's a passionate backpacker, wanted to be a travel blogger. His goal, conversational B2 fluency in 1 year so he could travel comfortably and blog for a global audience.
How did Mateo approach focusing on English?
He brilliantly fused his passion for travel with his learning. He'd plan imaginary trips entirely in English, all the research, everything.
God.
He watched tons of travel vlogs, starting with subtitles, then weaning himself off them, even mimicking the vloggers. He started a practice travel blog in English about local trips. His main focus strategy was a daily English adventure hour, timer set, fully immersed in English travel content. He also found language partners on Tandem who loved travel, making conversations naturally engaging and focused.
Very creative. Any hurdles for Mateo?
Consistency was his challenge, especially when progress felt slow. His solution was visual, a fluency jar. Every time he had a good English conversation or understood a vlog fully, he added a marble.
Oh, I love that.
Seeing the jar fill up gave him tangible proof of progress and kept him focused on the daily effort.
And did his focused, passion-fueled strategy work?
Absolutely. He hit B2 within the year, went on his first big international trip, and is now confidently traveling and blogging in English. Making it enjoyable and relevant was key to his sustained focus.
Wonderful. One more story for us.
Last one is Kenji from Japan, a retired university professor, late 60s. He decided to seriously learn English, to read academic papers in his field, and, importantly, talk in depth with his grandkids in Canada. His goal was high proficiency in 3 years.
What was Kenji's approach to focus learning later in life?
Kenji brought his academic discipline to it. 2 focused hours every single morning, his peak time. Methodical study, grammar textbook exercises, word of the day, detailed vocabulary notebooks.
Very structured.
For listening, he started with slow news for learners, then moved to online university lectures in his field. His unique focus technique was interleaved practice, switching between grammar, vocab, listening in focused 20-minute blocks to keep his brain sharp.
Interesting.
And he had weekly video calls with his grandkids, always preparing discussion topics beforehand.
Any specific challenges for Kenji?
Memorization was harder at his age, he found. So he relied heavily on Anki for spaced repetition and created complex mnemonic devices for tricky words. He was also initially self-conscious about his accent. But his grandkids' encouragement and his deep desire to connect with them were powerful motivators that kept him focused.
And the outcome for Kenji?
He now reads academic articles comfortably and has rich, spontaneous conversations with his grandchildren. His story is just a fantastic reminder that focused effort works wonders at any age.
These stories really do highlight common threads, don't they? Clear goals, structured learning, managing distractions, finding that motivation and resilience. They make it so clear that focus isn't just something you have or don't have. Exactly.
It's a skill you can actively cultivate.
Precisely. And as you, the listener, continue on your own English learning journey, remember, it is a marathon, not a sprint. Some days your focus will be sharp, other days it'll wander. That's normal.
Right.
The key is having those systems, those habits in place to gently guide your attention back to your goals when it drifts.
Absolutely. And this ability to cultivate focus, it's not just for English, is it? It's a superpower that genuinely impacts every area of life.
It truly is. So as you move forward, keep those core ideas in mind. Clarify your vision with SMART goals. Architect your environment for focus. Command your time deliberately. Nourish your mind and body. Embrace enjoyable learning. Build support. And please, be kind to yourself along the way.
And maybe here's a final thought to leave you with. Start seeing your ability to focus not as some fixed thing, but as your greatest ally, your most powerful tool.
Actively cultivate it, protect it, wield it intentionally. Your English fluency goals, and really any goal you set, they aren't just maybe possible. They're out there waiting to be reached through the power of your own unwavering gaze. So start today, stay focused, and watch that horizon get closer and closer.